Good morning to me once again. Nobody's here yet. Happy Father's Day to all our dads out there, all the anglers on the anglers list that have children. Happy Father's Day to you guys. Honestly, I think that's a good way to spend Father's Day, fishing. But sleep deprived, I feel sleep deprived, and I'm not even out there busting my ass. I'm just sitting here in the studio, or actually, it's just my spare bedroom. It's not a studio. But anyways, enjoying my second cup of coffee this morning from my coffee mug that my daughter made me at daycare. Daddy's Day 2021. It's got her cute little handprint on there. So hopefully you guys are enjoying some coffee. All you dads out there, I hope you're not awake yet. Just go back to sleep. I'm going to after this, hopefully. Okay. Well, let's get things going here. It is 5 in the morning. Starting off round number 4 for the anglers, but we are checking in on round number 3. And it is too early for this, but we got to do it. So let's do, like we always do, start things off by thanking all of our sponsors. First and foremost, 903 Bait Company out of Bullard, Texas. They're a great bait company. They got the hand-poured plastics. Check them out. Facebook, 903 Bait Company on Facebook. Balancing act there. They got some good stuff, interesting designs, and pretty excited to give them a try myself. I need to check in with the guys and see if they're using these. We're not getting much updates on that front. They've got to be. I imagine these are getting wet and catching fish. Secondly, let's thank our rod sponsor, Hogsback Custom Rods. I got them all over the studio here. Whoop, that side right there. And I've got my ice fishing rods, my musky rod, my crappie rod. Oh, boy. They've got it all. Open water ice fishing, many different styles, many different sizes, whatever customizations you want to see. The guys over at Hogsback Custom Rods can get that done for you. They were fantastic enough to donate a custom rod to the champions of the Anglers List Tournament Series, and we will find out who that is in September. But we still got a full day of fishing left here in Event 1. Like I said, we're checking in from round 3 as these guys get going into round number 4, the early morning into the, well, I guess midday round. They've got 8 more hours of fishing until they check in again. And pretty interesting round. Wasn't quite as fast and furious as the last round we had. Try and get this scoreboard set up here. But anyways, as expected, it was a late night. Guys were checking in early. 10-pounder sent their check-in video right around midnight and decided, well, you guys will have to hear it from them on what they decided to do here. Just working on some last-minute touches here this morning to make sure I can show you what we need to see on the scoreboard. We'll get to that here in just a hot minute. But let's get it kicked off with our check-ins from the teams. Like I said, 10-pounder checked in pretty early. Late last night, early for the round. They made a decision. I think it was a smart one, but you guys be the judge there. So let's kick it off with those guys, see what they have to say.
Hey everyone, Kevin and Dan again with Team 10-pounder, doing a bit of an early check-in. We've been doing this weird thing called actually fishing instead of working on our boat this period. Been doing a lot of bottom fishing, had a little bit of action on some cats and some surprise fish as well there. So hopefully we added a couple points, but we're going to actually hit the hay for a little while and actually get some real sleep and hopefully have a little smoother day tomorrow. So between now and 5 in the morning, we won't have lines in the water. So I hope everyone gets a little bit of sleep out there and hopefully a few fish.
Yeah, we got a 35-inch flathead, 21 and change on a channel cat, and 27-something inch shovel nose sturgeon. So hopefully one or a few of those points stick. Hopefully other teams are getting into them too, though, but just like maybe a half-inch less than us, that'd be good. So it's about midnight. We're going to be sleeping at the 5 a.m. check-in, but we'll be ready to hit it in the morning. So signing off.
There you have it. Like I said, those guys made a decision to get some rest, get some sleep. They said they're going to be sleeping through this check-in. So they actually got more sleep than I did. I stayed up probably later than I needed to, but I wanted to keep my eye on the scores and make sure that we were ready for this morning. So like I said, not a lot of action, not a lot of change. There's been some changes to the scoreboard, but not quite as aggressive, as major as the last round, but we'll get a look at that here in just a hot minute. Next up, let's check in with Team Mud Puddle.
Team Mud Puddle checking in here for the third check-in, guys. Last night after we talked to you, we tried for one other species for a bit, unsuccessfully, a species that we both don't have much experience with, but we thought we'd take a stab at it. And we got some shut-eye, much needed rest, and I think we're all geared up and about ready for this morning period here. We think it's going to be a pretty good one. We have some confidence come in. Hopefully all us teams can get something happening before the weather affects us too much. But it should be a good day regardless. We're looking forward to seeing if anyone stuck it out overnight or if any fish were registered overnight that we don't know about.
Yeah, let's see them.
Yeah. Good luck today, guys. Be safe. Just keep your eye on the weather and the conditions out there, and
grab a raincoat.
We'll talk to y'all at 1.
Yes, Team Mud Puddle made a choice on their own as well to get some much-needed shut-eye. You can see from the scoreboard, no changes on their front, actually. They didn't even submit a fish for this last round, so I think they made a good choice in sleeping, and they also made a good point as everyone out there fishing, anyone that's going to be outside today, keep an eye on the weather. It is supposed to rain today, so I am going to stay inside and, get some sleep on my own end. But all right, Mud Puddle, good luck there in this coming round. Next up, we're going to take a look at what Team Hogsback has to tell us.
Hey guys, Team Hogs back, checking in a little early. We started getting rained on off and on around 2:45 in the morning, and the wind started moving us around a little bit, so we decided around 3 o'clock to leave the river. Last night, we kind of split the night in two. We had a game plan. First half was try to land a flathead, and we did succeed at that. We landed a 24 and I believe a 1/4 inch flathead. We did hear another team did beat that score, but I guess we were excited anyhow to be able to land that. The second half of the night didn't go very well. The species we were going after, we did not land. So unfortunately, just the one fish that we submitted early in the night, but like I said before, we have heard a team has beat that score. We're gonna regroup. I think I probably have less than an hour of sleep in the last 25 hours, so I think we're gonna grab a few hours, 2-3 hours of sleep here, regroup, see if we can add some points today. There's a lot of good fish on the board right now. A lot are going to be tough to beat, so we gotta figure out a game plan for Team Hogsback to be able to add a couple points. So I'm excited to hear how everyone did, and good luck on day 2, guys.
Tough round for Hogsback once again. They did submit a scoreable fish there, so we'll get a look at where that landed for those guys. But again, they're catching some sleep here to begin this round, it sounds like, or maybe they had already been sleeping here. Tough to say when these guys record their videos. I know when I receive them, we're pushing up close to the actual check-in. So again, slow round here overnight. Didn't expect a ton, but we did get some fish on the board. So let's hear from our next team. That will be the Bass Holes.
Morning, guys. Team Bass Holes here. Yeah, it was brutal. Never thought I'd be sleeping in my boat, but did it. I can finally say. Fishing through the night. Guess it went good. We ran out of bait, so now we'll have to run to town, get some more bait, and probably try the river out here a little bit longer in the morning and go try what we know, what we planned on back home, or we have a lot of confidence in the fish that we're going to be getting. So good luck, guys.
The Bass Holes had a decent evening. Made a choice as well to take a nap. I don't think that's a bad spot to sleep, in the boat. That sounds kind of fun to me, honestly. Get out on the river, do some camping, sleep in the boat. Gotta like that. They did have a good time. Caught some fish, submit some scoreable fish. We'll see how that shakes out on the scoreboard here. But looks like they need to refuel, get some more bait, and get back at it. So not a bad problem to have, but sleep deprivation is a real thing. They looked a little disheveled, so good luck to you guys. Next up, we've got our fearless leaders, Team Goodwill, and I can tell I am sleep deprived as how I labeled this video, Googwill Check-in, or am I just referring to them as a couple of Googans? We'll never know, but let's see what they have to say.
All right, Team Goodwill here, doing our check-in from last night. I think the only thing we caught was some Z's. Probably had some opportunities for some fish, but decided to donate our bait instead.
Yeah, living up to our name.
We caught a crayfish, which is not on our list, and it wasn't 7 inches anyways.
But it was definitely on my line in the morning and not my bait.
And my bait was also gone. Woke up in the middle of the night to hear a bell ringing, a little too tired to quite figure out what that meant.
Didn't care.
Pole was still there, so I checked it, nothing was there, went back to sleep, and we're getting ready for today. Got some big plans, can't wait to see what everybody else has got.
And for our sake, I hope we got more sleep than you guys did.
Hope you guys are having fun out there. Stay safe.
There you have it. Similar story from other teams catching some Z's. Sounds like they had some action while sleeping, but did not give a damn about what was going on with those lines. Don't blame you, boys, but gonna need to step it up a few notches here in the coming rounds, as they have a lot of ground to make up as well. So, next up, and our final team to check in this morning will be the Googans.
The Googans for our morning check-in. It was a pretty good evening for us. We got a few new species to add to our list. We got into a couple flathead, and then just some small drum and red horse. One thing is we did forget our bump board in the truck when we bussed up the river. So we did the best we could. We'll see what happens with that, but at least had a tape measure. Yeah, we'll see where that leaves everything. So hope everyone had a good night period, and good luck today.
Good luck. See ya.
The Googans, one of the teams on our leaderboard that had some production last night. They were one of two teams, I'd say, that had actual production last night. Tenny Pounder was the only other one that had much to show for their evening. And they did mention they had forgotten their bump board. That is one of the rules of the game here, is that we need a bump board that has that nice flat surface where you can bump the nose of the fish up to it and get an exact measurement. It was discussed at the anglers meeting of an alternate solution if you catch something that doesn't fit on your bump board and you needed to use a tape measure, which they did apply in a different scenario, but it still worked. Talked it over with our scorer, Shara, and she agreed their submissions were valid. If anyone has questions about that, we can discuss it offline, but there's nothing to question there. It was a good measurement. Those qualified. But like I said, they had some production. Again, not a lot of change, but there was some change here, and we can dive right into that right now and get a look at our scoreboard. Once again, I'm going to put last round's scoreboard up on the left-hand side of your screen, and our new scoreboard will be on the right-hand side of the screen here. So there you have it. Over here on your left-hand side is last round. This is just a screenshot, so that is why this is highlighted here. I can't get rid of it, I'm sorry. But don't pay no mind to that. Anyhow, like we all discussed last night, the leaderboard stood at Team Mud Puddle in first, the Googans in second, Hogsback in third, Goodwill in fourth, Tenny Pounder in fifth, and the Bass Holes in sixth. Now let's bring that over to this round's scoreboard. It's looking slightly different. There were some changes, but not a lot. Again, we have Team Mud Puddle hanging on to first place with 6 fish, 6 species, and a total of 100.25 inches. That is what's holding on to that first place position for them as you bring it down to our tied for first, but second place team due to the tiebreaker. They're sitting at 77.5 inches. Those trout really brought down that inches total for them, but they were able to add a new species to the scoreboard here in that red horse. As last round they were sitting in 5, they've got that 6th point to jump into that tie for first. They need one more fish to take over first, and added a species to the list. So that is our red horse. Let's take a look at that fish while we're at it. There you have it. Mr. Riley hanging on to that red horse sucker out there. I'm assuming, one can only assume it's on the river, but really we have no way of knowing unless he wants to let us all know exactly where they're fishing. But there you have it. He's holding on to that fish. We can get a little zoom in here. Tough to see, but it is definitely, that flash really throws off the color there, but easy one to identify. And we'll get the bump board here. There you have it. Nose against the flat surface of the boat. Great decision there by those guys. Getting creative, having to use the tape measure due to a forgotten bump board. There is the tail on the mark. That's a 16.25 inch fish. Nice. Adding another species to the list. This list is getting long. Our total species count is at 25. 25 available points on the board is what that means. So there's a lot of room to steal, but there are over 20 fish left on our species list that can be scored. All right, let's move on and see what we've got. We've actually got a tie. Now that I look at it again, we've got a tie for, is that third place? But due to the tiebreaker, Tenny Pounder will overtake Team Hogsback now for third place, which is a big move for those guys. Again, one of those teams that actually had some production finally, not fixing their boat, not messing around with anything. So they did take over third place due to that tiebreaker in inches. 109 inches for Tenny Pounder, 50 total inches for Team Hogsback. So what they were able to put up on the board, they had that northern pike from round, I believe that was round 1, and they are still hanging on to that 32 3/4 inch fish. Their sauger, which is the only sauger submit in this event so far, at 14 inches. But we have now got a flathead catfish at 35 inches, which is a solid fish, a solid catfish. You heard Jake mention he had also scored and submit a flathead, but did not have what it took to beat this 35-inch beast. As well as a shovel-nosed sturgeon was added to our species list here, our scoreboard, I mean, and that was at 27 1/4 inches. There was a little bit of question on how we measure those. After a little bit of research and talking as a group, we decided from the nose to the fork of the tail, and you will see what I mean once we get a look at that picture. Let's just start with that one while we're at it, since we're talking about it. So let's see this first photo. There you have it, Kevin, hanging on to that shovel nose. Oh, there we go. Shovel nose sturgeon. Just a dinosaur of a fish. Really cool that they were able to put one of those on the board. Something interesting about these fish that you might not know, they have on the tip of their tail a long little fin that comes off. Now this one's not as pronounced, but it will sometimes dangle off the end there. But what I was talking about here is the fork in the tail, and everything that you look at and everything we talked about was from the tip of the nose to that fork, as to not confuse with that long tail or the long tip of the tail that these dinosaurs can have. So as I said, they measured that one to the fork. It is just right there at 27 1/2 inches long. Beautiful fish. Really cool species to add to our list here this morning. So that is a point that Tenny Pounder was able to take, along with that flathead catfish point, 35-incher. Let's get a look at this beauty. That's a heck of a catfish. There you have it, Dan holding on to that beast. Really healthy looking fish there too. Looks like he's been munching. Dan obviously happy about that one. And we've got our flathead on the bump board. Let's get a look at the tail there. Certainly is a 35-incher. Man, about 1/8 inch more and they might have had a 35 1/4 incher. But nonetheless, that fish will take the point. Those things are beasts, bottom feeding freaks. So there you have it, Tenny Pounder taking over third place with those 2 added points from last round, adding to the sauger and the northern pike. They've got a shovel-nosed sturgeon and a flathead catfish. Good work, boys. They're making up ground quickly from that rough first and second round they had. Moving back down the list here, nothing as far as new fish to talk about, but Hogsback in fourth place with their 4 points, 50 total inches, white bass, bullhead, yellow perch, and drum. Looks like they are going to need to make a turn if they're going to defend that title, but we've still got a whole nother event. Do not forget that. This event is kind of just a bragging rights deal, but the points from this event will carry on to event 2, so every single point counts no matter what. So, Hogsback in fourth place. Team Goodwill sitting in fifth place. Again, no movement there. They took the opportunity to sleep and donate their bait. And the bass holes, they did have a pretty productive round. They were able to add a lake sturgeon to their list here. And they had a few other submissions throughout the night, but this lake sturgeon was the only point they were able to scrape out to add to that walleye they had. A 25-inch lake sturgeon. Let's get a look at that one here on our score sheet. There you have it, Trent holding up that dinosaur as well. Really cool to see sturgeon added to the catch list. Kind of what you could expect from a night bite. These guys are fairly nocturnal, as from what I can tell. There he is on the bump board. We got our indicator. I keep forgetting to mention that. There's our identification number, and again, that fish will be measured to the fork, so that fish comes out to 24 and a half. I believe that's what they submitted at. Oh, they marked 25. I'm going to need to double check that measurement there. Okay, now it's a little bit more clear. We're at the 25-inch mark here. Oh no, we may need to get a judgment on that measurement, but it is a new species, so regardless of the measurement, we do have a new species. That is their point. We just may need to make an adjustment to the length there. It's early. We're trying to score these fish as quick as we can so we can get to this live weigh-in. So we'll do a little deliberation and talk about that measurement, but I believe we need to measure that fish to the fork in the tail, and we'll get it adjusted. But again, that is their point. They are sitting with 2 points in last place right now, 6th place, with 2 points and 47.5 inches total. So there you have it. One last time, Team Mud Puddle in first, the Googans in second, Tenny Pounder in third, Hogsback in fourth, Goodwill in fifth, and the Bass Holes in 6th place. So not a lot of fish caught in this round, as to be expected, but we've got 2 more rounds left to fish today. We will be checking in again once again at 1 p.m. And then remember our final check-in to see who the winners of event 1 will be. It's going to be 9:30 this evening. We're going to be giving them the opportunity to fish all the way through the time, which is 9 p.m. 9 p.m. the clock stops, lines out of the water, and our 40 hours have been reached. So just keep that in mind. I will have our live stream up scheduled so you can be reminded. And again, I didn't mention it this morning, as I assume the 4 people watching are our anglers. Please share the live stream, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. Please share that out. We want everyone to tune in and check out what's going on with this leaderboard. With that being said, last but not least, I am going to I forgot to thank them this morning, Minnesota Made Outdoors. Thanks to them for letting us utilize the YouTube channel and get this out to their viewers. It is much appreciated as well. Do not forget, real quickly, I'm going to talk about it once again. Our Minnesota Made Outdoors first annual golf tournament fundraiser to benefit the Future Anglers of Minnesota nonprofit organization. All the details are there. We have been talking about it. But Majestic Oaks Golf Course, $100 per player, $400 per foursome. That'll get you golf, cart, range balls, and a burger basket for the awards ceremony. You can get in touch with Jake there at that email address, or hit one of us up here at Minnesota Made Outdoors, and we'll get you taken care of. Want to sponsor a hole? It's $100 a hole. Put your name there, and one of our holes will be yours. The goal is to have about 36 foursomes out there, so that's a lot of eyeballs on your name if you decide to sponsor a hole. If you have prizes or cash that you would like to donate, please contact us as well. We will get you taken care of. That's going to do it. We're done for the morning check-in, I am going to probably try to go take a nap. I don't know. I've had 2 cups of coffee, so it might not work out for me. But happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, all our dad anglers here in the anglers list. Good luck to our teams. Stay safe. The sleep deprivation is real. Jake's saying he's only gotten about 1 hour of sleep over this last day of fishing. So get some sleep, Jake, but also try to keep some lines wet. Get some fish on the board, and stay safe. Follow all of the rules and regulations out there on the water, and we will see you all again at 1 p.m. Thanks for watching. We'll see you this afternoon.